Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 174 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, aka the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. The algorithm. The algorithm is the reason why you're a failure, why you're not having success, why you are a minimum wage earning cockroach. Or so that is what everybody else on the internet would have you believe and the B-Man believe, because that's all I hear from everybody. Because I watch a lot of content creators who have fewer than, I don't know, let's say 10,000 subscribers. I purposely seek them out because I am one of them myself, even though I just got my 50th subscriber to this project that is Verbal Graffiti. So thank you to that 50th subscriber, if that is you. And that's big for me because I can hardly speak without slurring and my words. But anyways, that is a common theme. All my comic friends, all the creators on YouTube that I don't know but I watch and I'm entertained by their content, who are not having success with their careers, with their viewership numbers, with their engagement on social media. That is all I hear from all of my friends, comedian friends, and all the content creators is it's the algorithm. The algorithm, I'm shadow banned. I'm being suppressed. Google, YouTube, Instagram, they blackmailed me. I'm shadow banned. I used to get like 100 new subscribers a day, but no more. Some of my videos don't get any likes or any views or engagements. And it's never the comedian. It's never the content creator's fault. Right? We're all children. None of us have the capability or the well, not even the capability, but just the what is the term? The unwillingness to point at yourself in the mirror and go, no, it's your fault. Your content is not worth watching. You're not entertaining. You have no ability. You are not special. Your IQ maybe cracks 3 figures, probably doesn't. You're probably wavering around 97. You're a hack. Nothing about you is original. You're trying to recreate what somebody else who is successful on the internet, you're trying to recreate what that person does, what that person gets hundreds of thousands and millions of views for, which is a little bit of a lime. You're doing the same thing with a bit of a lime on it, but instead of making it a garnish, it's tartaring. It's just too much lime, and that's why nobody's watching. But I've just noticed that the past few months, and I will admit, my dick up. Mr. Perfect, his dick is being raised. I've done the same thing, right? I just got my 50th subscriber. We're on episode 175. I put out a reel 6 days a week, so I'm pretty active on my page, and I only have 50 subscribers. And a lot of time I think, well, I must be getting suppressed. YouTube doesn't like me. I'm being shadow banned. So am I a hypocrite? Yes, I am. But I'm calling out my bullshit. And while I'm calling out my bullshit, I'm calling out all of their bullshit as well. We're all in the shit because our content that we create, that we think is so original and fantastic and should be on the front page of YouTube, well, we're all wrong. We're all wrong. YouTube, what an ego trip. Right? And I got a bit of an ego, but what an ego trip for me or anybody else to think, well, YouTube's suppressing my videos and shadow banning me. If you actually think that YouTube, that is a conglomerate, a multi-billion-dollar operation, is taking time out of their day to find your page, your videos, and put the kibosh on them, YouTube doesn't even know who you are. YouTube doesn't know who I am. I know, it's shocking. YouTube doesn't know who the B-Man is. So how can I How can I complain and say that YouTube is suppressing my videos when I'm a nobody? I'm a meaningless cockroach. I'm not even a cockroach. Like, you notice a cockroach in your kitchen. Like, I am less than a cockroach. I'm a germ. I'm a germ that doesn't give you a cold. And when I say I mean all of you too. Right? Every comic who goes, yeah, dude, I'm just being suppressed by the algorithm. It's the algorithm. It's why I'm not a multimillionaire. It's the algorithm why I'm not doing A-level comedy clubs. It's an algorithm why I'm not monetized on YouTube. Well, no, honey, no, John, it's you. You're not talented enough to be monetized. You're not talented enough to get hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube. And I'm sick and tired. And I will no longer allow others to complain and put the blame on YouTube and the algorithm of any social media site for why nobody is engaging with your content. The algorithm does not give a fuck about you. The algorithm doesn't even know who you are. All right? You're a kid that's been trafficked, but you're from another country. Like, okay, yeah, it's bad. No one's watching your stuff, but actually, that's a terrible analogy. I should not be equating child trafficking to whining and moaning about an algorithm not pumping up your videos. That's two wildly different things. Probably why I'm not successful trying to make that comparison. But yeah, stop blaming the algorithm for your failures trying to be an entertainer, right? It's your fault. It's not the algorithm's fault. If you were dazzling and super duper talented, the internet would recognize you and you'd get the views and the money that comes along with it, or the shame. We'll get to the shame, or the shade, I guess I should say. But it's not it's such an ego. Oh, the algorithm's suppressing me. No, the algorithm, you're just not bright enough to be seen. All right, so stop putting all the blame on the algorithm. That's like the boogeyman. Then you ask them, well, what is the algorithm? Explain to me what the algorithm is, please. I don't know what the algorithm is. Right? It's the boogie monster. I hear about it. It's speculated about. I know it's out there, but I don't know. There's coding. There's something with wires and smart people at Meta and Google. Like, nobody knows what the algorithm is. And if you do, you're a big-time dweeb being paid handsomely for your dweebiness. So good for you. But the 99.999% of us, that's a made-up term, the algorithm. Yeah, it's a real thing, but none of us know what exactly it is. So stop blaming the algorithm for your lack of success, for your failure, for your putting around with whatever content it is you're trying to put out there on the web, on whatever social media platform. So enough of me talking about my failures and pointing out your failures. Let's go talk about this person's failures. This comes from the subreddit Single Parents. I feel like single parents would be a good demographic for verbal graffiti. But anyway, on to the subreddit post. Yeah, the subreddit Single Parents Need to Talk. Okay? I am a 48-year-old married man, and my wife makes me live a hell. Because of her, I lost my job, I got sick, I spend my time looking for work, and I prefer stay outside rather than at home. I go out in the morning at 8 a.m. and come home late at night at 2200 hours. I think that's 10 p.m. I need to talk to a woman who can understand me. I do not try to commit adultery. Just talk without a headache by messaging or out loud. Thank you for understanding. Well, can you rescind that thank you? Because I don't understand your predicament. I don't understand why you're blaming your wife. Like the rest of us blame the algorithm for not getting views, you're blaming your wife for your misgivings, your failing in life. What did your like how what I want to know about you is like how the hell are you putting the blame, putting the stink on your wife for everything that's gone wrong in your life? Like how is your wife the cause of your sickness and the cause of your losing your job? Like how did you get sick because of your wife? All right, did she just spit in your mouth? Did she contract COVID and then just start coughing all over you purposely? Did she like get the flu and just rub her body up against you? Did she put some voodoo hex on you? Like what did she go to a lab? Right? Maybe in Ukraine or maybe somewhere in China and get a virus and then just kind of accidentally drop it on your head while you were sleeping. I find it highly suspicious that your wife is to blame for all of your health conditions. Again, I don't know you. I know your predicament in life because you just told us, but I suspect the reason why you're having faltering health has nothing to do with your wife. And I think it has everything to do with your daily habits. I'm looking into my ball sack, that lovely ball sack of mine, and I'm looking into it and I'm seeing your life and how you live it. I get the feeling, the sense that you, Mr. Sickness, you spend your days eating bags of potato chips. You get lunch at Taco Bell. You can't run a quarter mile without being out of breath. You can't do a pull-up. You can't do 10 push-ups. You don't know what a gym is. When's the last time you paid for a gym membership? Probably never. You're probably overweight. You probably go to, when you did have a job, you'd come home, you'd open up the box of wine and drink 3-4 glasses of that box wine while you play video games all night long. And when instead of getting 8 hours of sleep like you should each night, you're spending your late nights on YouTube going down conspiracy theory rabbit holes, probably Charlie Kirk's murder, assassination. Was it an inside job? Was there actually a shooter? How come there wasn't an autopsy? How come he wasn't taken to the hospital in an ambulance? How come there was no exit wound? You're probably spending some time on the internet doing that. Huh? Is the B-Man doing that as well? I might be, but I'm not putting the blame on my wife, and I certainly ain't as hell putting the blame on the algorithm. But this is all about you, not the B-Man. We all know I'm a failure. This is about you and your life. So I suspect that your sickness, your illness, your lack of breath has everything to do with your lifestyle, and your wife might be like 10% of that. Like she probably, her just being an annoying wife, just a woman in general, just an annoying woman with all that estrogen. See, it probably raises your blood pressure a little bit, but it's all you. You're to blame. Look inward. Point at yourself in the mirror. And as for losing your job, like how does your wife, how is she a variable in that equation? I need more details. Like, what did she call your boss and tell your boss that you were stealing pencils and pens and time from the office? Like, how did your wife? That makes no sense to me. Like my intuition tells me you're a shitty employee. You're a shitty minimum wage employee, and I know that. I know that from the way you worded your work. Let me look at that one more time to make sure I had that right. Okay, so you said, because of her, your wife that is, I lost my job. That sentence right there is very telling. It's all I learned about this in English class in high school. It's not what you say, it's how you say it and reading between the lines. And I'm reading between the lines, but actually what I'm really doing is I'm reading that last word, job. Now, this is the equation the B man's thinking. All right, you're 48 years old and you have a job. Those are two things that should not go together if you're successful, in which you're not, and that's why you're putting the two together. Because that's all I need to know about you to know that you're a failure at life. See, when you're 48 years old and you describe what you do for money as a job, I know that you and success will never meet each other because you are a minimum wage earner. You're a cockroach. Like that's what you are. You've never gotten a promotion. When you're 48 years old, you have a career. And if you do not have a career, you're in dire straits and you should be very worried about the next 2 decades of your life if you're fortunate enough to live that long. And maybe you don't want to be, because the end of your life ain't going to be it ain't going to be lollipops and Candyland. All right, when you're 48 years old and you're working a job. I don't think you have a big dent in that 401k when you're working a job as a 48-year-old. What are you doing from 8 in the morning till 10 at night? As you said, you're playing hide and seek from your house. You leave your house 8 a.m., you come home 10 p.m. Well, what are you doing for those 14 hours? Like, you don't have a job. You told us you're unemployed. You're sick. So I assume you don't have the health to play 18 holes of golf. You probably don't have them. There aren't many dive bars that open up at 8 a.m. So you're clearly not drinking at the dive bar for 14 hours. The B-Man wants to know. Like, I'm very curious as to what are you doing all day, all morning, all afternoon, all evening when you're not working, but you're not at home. And has your wife, who you put all the blame on, she's not asking questions like, hey, where have you been the last 14 hours? Like, I know myself, when I tell my family that I'm going out to get gas, fill up the gas tank, and I'm not home within 20 minutes, when I do get home, I get interrogated about where the fuck were you, B-Man? And rightfully so, because getting gas should not take longer than 20 minutes. So I want to know, what are you doing for 14 hours? You are. And this is not hyperbolic. You are the world's greatest mystery. I want to know, what are you doing for 14 hours when you're unemployed and your health is failing you? When you're not home, something's not adding up. Oh, and lastly, you're not going to find any babe, any other married wife to listen to you bitch and moan about your life and your problems that you put yourself into. Not your wife. That's the reason why you're there. That's not what being a man is. Like Bill Burr said, you want to suppress. As a man, we're supposed to suppress our emotions, keep it, internalize it, day after day, year after year, until that it just morphs into a brain tumor and you get stage 4 cancer and die. You don't talk about it. That's not manhood. And there's no woman that's going to listen to your problems like without any kind of adultery. Like, there is no wife in the world that's going to tell her husband, hey, I love you, but I got to go listen to this husband, another husband. I need to go listen to him bitch and moan and whine about his life predicament. But there's no adultery being taking place. That has never happened in the history of any kind of relationship. So you got to internalize this. You're the world's greatest mystery. And Like, I know where you're at. I know why you're in the situation you are, because you're a shitty employee and an even worse husband. And the really only hope you have is that you have a young daughter who's maybe 12 years old, who's forced to spend time with you so that you can talk to her about your problems, because like she has to be in your company. But other than that, like, you're never gonna get to experience happiness the rest of your life. So hopefully, yeah, you enjoyed your childhood. Let's go look at some photos. Do you sense that? Do you sense that the B man's not as focused, not as calibrated on task as I usually am during these episodes of Verbal Graffiti? If so, if you get that sense, your intuition is correct. The Yankees are currently playing a playoff game against the Red Sox, and I'm not watching because I'm too nervous, too much angst. My insides are all rearranged. I'm stiff and I'm shaking. I'm wearing a Yankee jersey. I got my Derek Jeter baseball card when he hit a home run against the Diamondbacks in 2001, the one in November, right past midnight, first person ever to hit a November World Series home run, Mr. November, Derek Jeter. But that's just, my focus is there, but my focus is here as well. I'm trying to multitask. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn. But if you're wondering, that's why I'm not as on task as I should be. This past weekend, before we get to this past weekend, I'm going to try to mend the two together, like the Yankee baseball game and this episode of Verbal Graffiti. So this past weekend, I was doing stand-up, Torrington, Connecticut, this small, well, actually it wasn't that small, it was pretty big for a bookstore. It was an independently owned bookstore. Saturday night, there was hardly anybody there. We nearly canceled the show because not many people showed up, but some people finally did, and there were just some people in there who were buying, just perusing the bookstore on a Saturday night. And hey, we're doing a comedy show. Do you want to watch? And they're, yeah, sure, we'll watch. And one of these ladies was younger, of age, I think, but anyway, she had the whale tail. And I've noticed the whale tail is coming back. Those of you from the early 2000s, you know what I'm talking about when I say whale tail. It's the jeans with the thong straps coming out on the side and on the back, so it makes like a whale tail. That is the hottest fashion trend of all time, and I am thankful to all the heavenly gods that the whale tail is back in fashion. Thank you very much. But anyway, so yeah, one of the ladies had a whale tail, but anyway, we ended up performing. And there were 5 of us comics. We each did, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes apiece, 15 minutes apiece. And there might have been 10 to 12 audience members, but we had such a good time. I got to see a new bookstore, a new downtown. I kind of dicked around with the crowd a little bit, telling a lot of dick jokes. Called one of the audience members a slut because he was bisexual. I'm like, oh, you're slutting yourself out to everybody. And I did so in a good-mannered way. If as good-mannered a way as you can call someone a slut, the B-Man did that night. But it was a fun show. And going into it, or when I got there, this is a waste of a Saturday night. I could have stayed home, watched college football, or gone to another show. But I stayed there, stayed the course. People ended up coming, and someone brought a bottle of wine. It was fun. It was like one of those nights I was driving home, and I had the window down because it was late September and the weather was warm. I was like, I'm living. Saturday night, I'm doing stand-up comedy. Got a little bit of money to do so. Hung out with a few comics that I know. Had a good time. Like, I am living. Maybe I'm not famous or, selling out theaters, but I'm doing what I love on a Saturday night. Well, what's better than that? I'll tell you what might be better than that and what might not be better than that. And that is Bill Burr. Bill Burr is an icon to the B-Man, to Brian Glass, before he even got into comedy. In my Mount Rushmore, if you want to call it that, of stand-up comedy is Bill Burr, Patrice O'Neal, Dave Attell, and Joan Rivers. That's the top four for the B-Man. And right after that, I put a local comedian. I should probably Dan. You know, if he's going to be a top five comic for the B-Man, I should know his name. Danny Boy, 3030. Anyway, Bill Burr performed for the Saudis. All right, if you're not in the know with what's going on in the sub-genre that is stand-up comedy, Bill Burr and a bunch of other famous comedians like Louis C.K. and Whitney Cummings and a few, all the big name comics performed for the Saudis, like the kings of Saudis, the people who like murder gays, murder women, suppress a bunch of people. There's a real evil, suppressive regime. Bill Burr was one of the leading comics that got paid allegedly $1.5 million to perform in front of the Saudi, the royals in Saudi. And he's been taking a lot of shit for that. And rightfully so. All right, because Bill Burr, he calls out all this bullshit, the billionaires, the millionaires, the lizard people, and then to go perform, to bend the knee for them for a paycheck. No, I'm not going to get on him. Am I a little disappointed that he performed for the Saudis? I am. But again, I performed this weekend in front of 12 people at a bookstore. And had a lovely time doing it, but I'm not making a living being able to doing that. So, if the Saudis paid the B-Man $1.5 million, would I take the check? I don't know. Like, I do have a moral compass. Sometimes that compass does break and turn south, east, west, but I don't know if I would take the check or not. But I'm not going to judge Bill Burr. When I say I'm disappointed in him, like, what the fuck does that mean? I'm fucking Brian Glass, Verbal Graffiti, 50 subscribers. Like, it's not like I'm not his parent, right? I'm not his guardian. I'm just a guy. And there's been a lot of comics like going after Bill Burr, name comics, well-known comics going after Bill Burr on social media. That's not going to be me. Bill. He's got to live with that. And make his peace with that. And I'm not going to point the finger at him, because if I got offered $1.5 million, I'd do a lot of things for $1.5 million, especially if it was tax-free. So let's just leave it at that. Let's just leave it at, hey, I enjoy doing stand-up comedy for $10 in front of 12 people. So I don't even know how to comprehend $1.5 million for a 30-minute set in a foreign country. Moving along. All right, this one comes from the subreddit. Single women by choice. Does anyone wear a wedding ring for work purposes? I was just curious if anyone does this for work. I decided to start wearing a ring when I was dealing with male clients in corporate setting as an experiment at first. I noticed a difference in how I was treated. Also, when I worked in real estate and met with couples, I also noticed a difference in treatment. Sadly, the difference was from the female spouses. I also just watched a TT, don't know what that stands for, a video made by a woman in a corporate job advising single women to wear a ring at work. Without a ring, they acted a certain way with their partner, and I interacted more. When I wore a ring, the female spouses appeared much more confident and at ease. It just made me feel very sad for the female spouses. For one, what makes you think your husband is so amazing? And am I so desperate for a partner, I'd want him, crying emoji. Secondly, why you gotta be insecure? Please work that shit out. Sigh. Grateful for my peace otherwise. Allow the B-man to give you a retort. We'll get to the ring, but the reason why these women, these other spouses, are married to their husband, is because they think the husband is amazing. Otherwise, why would they get married to the guy? If you don't think a guy is amazing, don't marry him. If you think he is amazing, you're likely or more likely to marry him. All right, now on to the wedding rings. We'll get to corporate setting, but let's start with the real estate. All right, because I know a little bit about that. And when I say I know a little bit about that, I watch Pornhub. Let me ask you, lady with the ring and sometimes not the ring, have you never watched the hub? Have you never gone to the hub? Have you never seen someone with the hub on their screen in public? Because if you've ever been on the hub or any nefarious website where there's intercourse between male and female actors and male, female, and all different kinds of people, sexes together, you'll know that real estate sex is almost always on the front page. It is a popular genre of smut, the real estate agent, specifically property sex. Like anyone who's ever gone to the hub to get themselves off, to hawk their dick loogie, to diddle their fiddle, or fiddle their, their coochie, like property sex videos, that's what happens, right? Like the married husband goes to the house. The hot, attractive female real estate agent is there, and then they fuck in the master bedroom. Like that is what the female spouse is worried about. And she's within her right to be leery of you, the real estate agent. Like even if you, and I'm talking to the real estate poster here, the Reddit poster here. Sorry, I got smut on my mind. My apologies. When the B-man's thinking about smut, sometimes my mind does not think clearly. What I'm getting at here, so if you're a real estate agent, let's just say you're a soft 5 in the looks department. Even if you're a soft 5, the female spouse of the husband, the prospective buyers, is going to be leery of you and your intentions. Let's paint the picture, shall we? All right, let's say the wife she has to work, and then you as a real estate agent, you hit up the husband and you go, hey, there's this new house on the market. It's near the beach, $750,000. It has everything you want. It's got the 2-car garage, central air, hardwood floor, open floor plan, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, master bedroom, but it's going to sell fast, so we got to go look at it. And then the husband goes, well, hey, my wife's at work. And so the husband contacts his wife, female spouse, and goes, hey, the agent told us there's a new opening. I'm going to go see it, okay? And the wife will probably say, okay. But in the back of her mind, right, she's probably seen the hub. She's seen the property sex videos. She's seen the smut. And like she knows she's more leery of you and your intentions, more than just a 3% commission that you might make if the sale goes down. Like she knows, like this is an opening for you, and like she could trust you, she could like you as an agent, but as a woman, like she knows the predicament. Like you're getting the husband in. So the husband goes to this house, this open house without his wife. The female spouse not there. It's just the husband and you, the soft 5 real estate agent. You go in this $750,000 house. Now, what does the real estate agent know about this husband? This husband has money and he has status. And that's known because He's looking at a $750,000 house. This is a guy who's got his shit together. This is a guy, any babe, who's seeking out a guy with some wealth and some stash would like to get with. And now the wife knows that, wait, my husband and our real estate agent are in this house alone. No cameras, no other people. That's a precarious position. All you gotta do as the agent as the real estate agent is, hey, you're showing them around. You're in the master bedroom. You bend over. You show a little skin. You wrap your legs around him, and then suddenly you're in the picture. Then more than just a real estate agent. Suddenly, if you're able to fuck the husband in the master bedroom, there is potential that you'll not only get the 3% commission, but that you'll break up his marriage, and then you'll end up marrying him, and then you'll get 50% of a $750,000 house, and you're set up for life, and not just a 3% commission. And that is what every wife is leery of, especially if you're not wearing a wedding ring. Because as we know, maybe actually we don't know. Are you a real estate agent or are you a floozy real estate agent? Because it seems to me that the real estate agents that double as a floozy get more deals done, make more money. So yeah, if I'm the wife, whether you're, as a real estate agent, whether you're single or married, no matter how big that ring is on your finger, I would not want my husband, I wouldn't want the agent showing my husband houses when I'm not present. Because I know how you real estate, I watch the hub. I know how real estate agents act when the wife is not present during the open house or the showing of the house. And that's all it is. It's really, it's not you. It's the position you're in as a real estate agent. It could be any woman as a real estate agent, and the wife she's certainly within her right to be nervous about the interaction and whether or not it's going to be more than just, is it going to be showing of the master bedroom or a master bedroom and what type of panties I'm wearing at the moment. So, and are you ignorant to, like, that is what a wedding ring is for. Like, the wedding ring, it's not for the married couple. It's for everybody else to recognize the married couple. Like, the wedding ring signifies to the world, not the married couple, but to the world, to anyone you interact with, that your pussy is allegedly off the market. That is what a wedding ring signifies in the year 2025. But as we all know, does it? Like, I have a buddy of mine, a good friend, long friend, who he'll cheat on his wife, but he'll only cheat on his wife with other married women. Because if she's wearing a wedding ring, then she's got skin in the game too. It's like, okay, well, I'm not going to tell on you, and you can't tell on me because you're married as well. So, like, it is what it is. And also, my friend, I have a friend cheesing me. We used to joke that, well, if you're married but you don't have kids, it's okay to have sex with the wife. As an outsider, John, like, you, because even if you wreck the marriage, like, there's no kids, so it's okay. But yeah, but to the normies, to the people who do have a moral compass, and as I just said in the preamble, my moral compass, I do have a moral compass, the B-man that is, but sometimes, I don't open it. I keep it in my pocket. What I'm getting at here is, like, that is why you wear a wedding ring. What, are you a dum-dum? Like teenagers know that. You wear a wedding ring to signify that you're that you're no longer fucking strangers, unknown dick or pussy. Like that's why we wear the ring. And of course, you're going to be treated differently, whether it's in a corporate setting or real estate or just out and about. Like like people treat married people differently than non-married Johns and Jeanettes. That's just how life is. All right. Like honestly, and there was a time in the B man's life, my early 30s, I had a long unemployment bout. I had nearly 2 years, I think. I was unemployed and I'd go on a lot of interviews and I wasn't getting any of them. And so what I did is I went to a mall and I got like a wedding ring so that I could wear it to interviews. So that way that the hiring managers would think that I was married, because I have read that guys who are married, they're more likely to get promotions and get paid more because their employers, they think they have a family, so therefore they need more money. And the employer, there is a stereotype that if you're married, you're more responsible. You're less likely to be going out late at night to get some poon, so that therefore you'll be a better employee and more focused on your career than if you're a single John like the B man. So what I did is, I bought this a cheap, $10, $20 ring. And if I had an interview on Zoom, I would always like put my hand up to make sure that they would see my ring. It didn't work. I never got hired. But my family gave me some shit for it. They were like, you can't wear a ring on an interview. That's lying to the employer. But I said, I'm not telling them I'm married. I'm out scheming them. If they see the ring and think I'm married, well, I just outplayed them. Like I played to their assumptions, to my benefit. So, yeah, no shit. If you have a wedding ring on, people, whether it's a coworker or just a normal person at the store, is going to look at you differently. And it's not the person looking at you fault for looking at you different, because that's why we wear wedding rings. To be treated differently, to be treated with a bit more respect, to have a little bit more status in society and within your community. So to you and everybody else, go suck a fat one.